Hi guys, so today I want to share another story with you. Today I want to talk about Jennifer Aydin's mother lies about her gay brother, plus a quick recap review of season 10, episode 8. Okay guys, so now I'm back. I basically took 2 weeks off for the holidays. I had a really great holiday, spending it with lots of family and friends. But I did do like sort of a Merry Christmas video, and I did it from my living room downstairs, and a lot of people were really shocked. They were really shocked. I mean, I even got personal emails to my email account about my house. It's really weird. People are really shocked that I lived in a mansion. I mean, technically it's a mansion. I believe anything over 5,000 is a mansion. And people were really shocked. And a lot of people were saying, how does a YouTuber afford to live like that? Or where did you get your money? And it was really strange because I would only say probably out of 1,000 responses, I probably only 3 people said, oh, she must have married well. And the reason I think that people didn't realize that I had a husband, I met my husband at 17, I got married at 18, had a child at 19, and I would say I've never technically worked a 9 to 5. No, I really haven't. I did before I met my husband in the mall when I was a teenager, but since I've been married, I never worked a 9 to 5. And it's because of my husband. And the reason why I think that people never thought that, oh, she must be married, because in real life, people, yes, I'm a real housewife. It's true. The reason I think that people never thought that is because, now, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking that society really doesn't support marriages these days. Most people are divorced, okay? Or if they're married, they do that Hollywood nonsense, a month, 2 months, but nothing over a decade. That's really rare, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, let me know. Like, we do have some housewives that have been married forever, like Lisa Vanderpump, and that's probably why one of the reasons I like her so much is because she has a very strong marriage. But most of the time, society really doesn't support marriages that much. And there's no one to really set you down either to say, this is what makes a marriage work. This was what doesn't make a marriage work. I mean, I got some advice from my aunt at a very early age. She said, no matter what you do, keep that marriage together. But she didn't go into detail. I basically had to figure it out myself. That's why I'm really loving this season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, because it's giving me realness, people. I love it. It's not all fighting all the time. It's some serious real life problems going on there. And one of them is the marriage between Teresa and Joe. We got to talk about it, okay? We got to talk about it. And these are just opinions. Nothing's fact. This is what I think their marriage went wrong. And then you might have a different opinion, and then you let me know in the comment section. So let's get into it. So in my opinion, nothing kills a marriage faster than playing the blame game. But not just in a relationship as far as marriage. I mean, any kind of relationship. If you have 2 good friends, nothing can kill a relationship faster than the blame game. Even if you're playing like basketball and you're on the same team. And if every time you guys went into a huddle, you guys start blaming each other for why you're not winning the game instead of focusing on a new plan and what's really going on, it will kill your relationship in basketball. Nothing kills a relationship faster than the blame game. And what is Teresa and Joe doing? It's an all-out war at this point. Pointing the finger at each other, blaming each other for their marriage being, in the dumps, in the rocks right now. And to make even matters worse, they're playing the blame game in front of their children. They're trying to make Gia the referee. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. It's the damnedest thing. Okay, so in last night's episode, Joe will call from ICE, and he would basically accuse Teresa of everything she's doing wrong. He was like, you spent all my money, and you're basically not being a good wife. Basically, in so many terms, this is what he's saying. And then she started blaming him by saying that, I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for you, which is right but wrong at the same time. And then she was like, you got us here. And they were just arguing, and they really tried to make Gia the referee. Like Teresa was like, look what I have to deal with. And Gia had to tell her mother, listen, that's between you and my father. Stop. Okay, this is what I think is going on in their marriage. Let's just say I was with a friend and we skipped school and we got caught and both got suspended. If I told my friend, look what you did to me, at some point I agreed to skip school. On some level, it's part my fault too. Same for Teresa. Joe did the dirty deed by lying and getting money to get a $5 million house that they can't afford. But on some levels, Teresa had to know. Let's just say she didn't physically know that he signed those paperwork. Like she didn't ask, like, where's this money coming from? Teresa has been shallow since day one. It's no secret. I like her. She's one of my favorite housewives, but she loves money. Okay, she plays the keep up with the Joneses game all the time, which ultimately contribute to the end of this marriage. Okay, Teresa's at fault too, but she just wants to blame Joe for everything. Joe, of course, he was at fault, but instead of these two sitting each other down and saying, okay, look where we are, we as in both. How did we get here? We as in both. And what can we do to keep this marriage together? It's all about you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this wrong. And not only they're doing it, they're teaching their children to play the blame game. These two need to hurry up and get divorced like as fast as possible. They need to expedite their divorce. This is never going to work. They're not, both of them are not accountable for anything. Joe wants to be now in real time when he was like, I put my children in this position. But, during this marriage, as this marriage was falling apart that we're seeing on tape now, he never really took accountability for everything. He never said, listen, I'm sorry that I was being a greedy MRFer, to play the bigger, better game, that I did these illegal acts so I can get a bigger house, but I didn't think it would take an effect on my children. Okay, I didn't realize I was leaving my wife without a dime to take care of us. I mean, this relationship is over. And so the good news is that, at least we get to see why Teresa jumped ship and went and go found solace in this alleged new 20-something-year-old boyfriend. That's going to fall apart too. But, at least, this thing is over right here and they can quit torturing their children, at least in my opinion. But the best part, in my opinion, is that this was aired on television, so hopefully other people can learn the lesson of what not to do in a marriage. What will get you divorced quicker than anything else in this world will be playing the blame game. So, thank you guys for that lesson. Sorry you guys fell apart, but, at least the rest of us know not to do that. Now let's move on to another very serious storyline, and that would be Jennifer Aydin's story. First of all, I'm loving hating Jennifer, okay? Jennifer is a caricature. I mean, she's just too much. I mean, I'm going to say what no one else is saying. I hope I don't get flack for it. But first of all, her children, they're like a, a band of wild coyotes. They're really undisciplined, like Jackie had said last season. I mean, it's true. They're not disciplined at all. They say what they want. They act the way they want. I mean, this episode, the family was having dinner. The grandmother cooked a lamb's head. Okay. Ew. I understand their frustration, but they got up and they ran around the table and they were just so rude. Okay. It is what it is. Jennifer, your children are unruly. It doesn't mean they're not good children, but they could use a couple, I don't know, obedient classes. Like, sit down, children. You didn't have to eat it, but you don't have to go running around acting the way they were acting. But I love Jennifer. She starts trouble. We need a troublemaker on every show. It looks like Danielle's on her way out. So why not have Jennifer to hold the torch for being, queen troublemaker? But besides that, her family's going through a very serious problem that many families go through in the U.S. And that is, not just the U.S., in the world. And that's the subject of having gay children. I mean, we all know, a couple decades ago, maybe even years, it was taboo to have a gay children. You would shun them. Some people would never talk to their children again because they're gay. And it just seems so, outdated for a person to have that attitude, to judge a person because of who they love, to judge a person because of the way they like to have sex is asinine, especially when we have real problems in today's society. But, it's reality. Some people will never accept being gay no matter what you do. And so this is what Jennifer's mother is going through right now. Okay, so Jennifer's daughter, one of the unruly ones, they're unruly, but her children speak their mind. She actually asked her grandmother, how come you have a problem with my Uncle Stephen being gay? Okay, so I gotta give Jennifer a little credit for having ballsy children. They're just unruly. They need to sit at the table while they're speaking their truth. And the grandmother actually lied and said, Steve is not gay. She acted like she had no idea what the granddaughter was talking about. And it's so good that they air real life problems like this because other people can use it as a teaching tool. And for me, the teaching tool was some people, it is what it is, no matter how advanced life gets, no matter how modern things get, still stick to those old backwards. It is what it is. I'm not trying to bash your mom, Jennifer, but her thinking when it comes to her gay son is backwards. Will not let go of these ignorant ways. And maybe that's just society, period. Maybe there's going to be people that are always just ignorant. I don't mean to be mean when I'm talking about her mother, but she is. When it comes to her son, she's very ignorant. She's making it seem like there's something wrong with being gay, and even worse, she's damaging the relationship with her son because of who he loves, the way he likes to have sex. He likes to have sex with other men, and she's really going to ruin that relationship. And then she's going to ruin the relationship with her grandchildren because they're of the modern era. They know that's backwards thinking. They're going to always say, grandma's, ignorant. They really are. But it's really good to see how even Jennifer is like saying this is old school thinking. We can't stand for it anymore. So if you're a gay younger person or just a gay person, period, that is dealing with homophobia, I don't know if I just made that word, a homophobic person, the moral of this story is do you and move on. You're not going to please everyone, but you have to please yourself. So if you come across a situation where you're gay and someone else doesn't like it, oh well, you have to move on, even if they're family. Now let's move on to one of my favorite storylines. So like I said earlier, the Real Housewives of New Jersey gives me real life storylines, and then they give me all the ratchetness I love, and that would be the Danielle Staub story. Danielle Staub storyline, okay? Love her. Okay, so in this episode, Danielle still lives with her ex-husband, Marty. Okay, I didn't know that's, I thought the meaning of divorce means you get out and go your own way and I go my way. But okay, they still live together. And not only that, it looks like they're still sleeping together because Marty told Margaret. Now, I love Margaret, by the way. I just like her. I don't care if she cheated on her husband. I like her. But with that being said, she's also being like a weirdo this season and obsessed with Danielle Staub's life, okay? She's obsessed with revenge. That's what she's obsessed with. She doesn't like Danielle, and so she's going out of her way to make Danielle's life miserable instead of saying, me and this person don't get along, so let me go ahead and just go about my business. No, she's making it her point to try to seek revenge on Danielle, and she's going through Marty. Part of this is Marty's fault because why are you going back telling your business to Margaret to begin with? He told Margaret and her husband that he's still sleeping with Danielle. Weird. Okay, like, why are they divorced? I mean, someone needs to explain that to me. But anyway, so on this episode, Danielle confronted Margaret, or vice versa. Every time they see each other, they get into it. Danielle accused Margaret of sabotaging her relationship and said that she's the reason that they're divorced, but they're really not divorced because they do sleep in the same house. According to Marty, they're still sleeping together. And I'm going to go a tad bit further and say she's probably still spending Marty's money, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so Margaret gets upset with Danielle, says, I didn't ruin your marriage, and, you're trash, and they just start calling each other names. Margaret, who I like, threw a glass of water on Danielle first. They start pushing and shoving, and then at the end, Danielle takes a nice clump of Margaret's weave and pulled it down, okay? And that's where the episode left off. I mean, amazing episode, people, amazing. I get all of these real life problems, which makes it real, and then I get ratchetness and a straight out fight at the end. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, people. Real Housewives of New Jersey is my favorite so far this year. Loving every single minute of it. So that's my review of last night's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. A couple things that are going to be changing on my channel this season is I have a new manager, a new agent. So we're making our videos longer. So they're going to be a tad bit longer. That's for commercial purposes. Also, I'm going to be doing more reviews. Okay, so like this is my first review this season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Even though I give you behind the scene news, I'm going to try to add more reviews on top of what's going on behind the scenes, okay? So what I want to know today in my comment section, since this was such a great episode, is number one, do you think that Jennifer's mother will ever come around and love her son no matter if he's gay or what? That's number one. Number two is, who thinks that there's absolutely no way of saving Teresa and Joe's marriage? And number whatever, I forgot my number, what number I'm on. The last question is, who thinks that Danielle needs to stay on The Real Housewives of New Jersey? Who thinks she's just trash and they are doing right by phasing her out? I think they need to keep her. That's just my opinion. Also, if you like this review, please don't forget to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.